Hey everyone, Jason here, and today I'm excited to share my entry for this week's challenge from Stephen Pope's No Code Architect Store community, which, by the way, is a great group if you're looking to level up your automation game. This week's challenge is all about building an appointment feedback automation that helps local businesses and clinics automatically collect feedback from contacts after their appointment. In this workflow, I've set up an automation that triggers whenever an appointment status is marked as completed in Airtable. In this workflow, I've set up an automation that triggers whenever an appointment status is marked as completed in Airtable. It then retrieves the contact's email and sends them a feedback survey link using a customized email template. I've even added some extra functionality to update the appointment status in Airtable after the email is sent, ensuring everything is tracked seamlessly. I'll walk you through the entire process from setting up the triggers in Airtable to configuring the email modules in Make.com. Let's get into it. Hi, my name's Jason, and this is my submission for week 17, the appointment feedback automation. I'll start off with my Airtable setup. For this challenge, I've gone with 3 tables: the client, the form responses, and settings. For the client, we have a name ID for the primary field. This is a formula, and I'm using the concatenate function. First name, last name, and ID are concatenated together. I have a status field, which is a drop down. It's got new lead scheduled, attended, feedback submitted, follow up. Feedback form is a link to the settings. I'll show you that in a minute. First name, last name, the client details. Responses is a link to the form responses table. And then we've got the email, mobile number, and the last modified time. Also, I've got the record ID. The ID is a auto number. That's used in the primary ID. And then we just got created time, and the rest are just links to the other tables. For form responses, I've got a response name. Again, it's a formula with a concatenate function. This time it's just the string response, and then the ID field. We grab the date and the responses from the actual form, and the rest are links. Well, these 3 are linked to the client table, and that's just so you can look at it all that on the one row. For the settings table, I've got a settings name. Again, it's a function with a concatenate function in it. Got the name, which is just for the feedback form. The URL, I've decided to go with tally.so for my form. So that's the URL to the form. Form ID is just the ID of the form. For the email subject, allows you to change it. So it's just a single line text. Email content is the long text, and the email reply is long text as well. A value, I've got that there, is if you need to if you have a form and you want to add something that's not a URL, you can have the option to use that. And then the status is active or disable. I've added that so we can simply disable a form if it's not being used. For the so the email content, it's just got basic message. I use ChatGPT to create it. The only thing that's really in here is I've got this survey link. This is used later on, which I'll show you when we get to the make automations, and the make automation will look for that and then replace it with this URL. And then I just got a basic email reply as well. For the form, as I said, I use tally.so. It's a basic form for the disability sector. Name and email, and just 5 different questions. For the make.com scenario, I've got an Airtable with a watching the records. We're looking at the client table. Trigger field is last modified time. we limit it to 1, and then I've got a formula of status is equal to attended. If it's not equal to that, we don't want it to be running all the time. I've also added a filter. It looks to see if the form is active. If it's not, it won't run. And then we've got the email field here, which is just sending an email. We're grabbing the subject from the table. And then this is the replace function I mentioned before. So it's replacing and using the email content from the table as a string. It's looking for survey link. Then it'll replace it with the URL. And then I've decided to, I guess, add a bit more. So this is where we're watching the tally forms. Here we're doing a search for the settings. We're grabbing the settings name, the email reply, and the status and the client. I'm doing another check. The form ID is equal to the that form that's in the table. So if that form ID doesn't exist in the table, it won't run. And we're grabbing that from the tally module. I'll also do another check for the status, if it's active or not. If it's active, it will continue. We're now doing a search for the client. Output field is just the first name, last name, record ID. And then I'm doing a formula, another check, making sure that the email is the same for the client and the form ID matching. Maybe a bit of an overkill, but can't be safer. And then do another filter, this time looking for the number of bundles. If it's 0, that means there's not a form selected, which I'll show you in a minute when we run through the demo. Again, this time we're adding the responses to the form response table, adding the date. We're linking this to the client, and then just these are all the responses from Tally. I then doing an update of the status, changing it to feedback submitted. And then finally, we're sending an email and just thanking them for feedback and just grabbing the details from the table. So let's run for a demo. So first up, we need to change this to attended, so they've attended the meeting. We need to select a feedback form, which is that one there. If we now run, let's move my face out of the way, run this one once. We'll see it selected it, refresh, and there's the email. We've replaced the link, so if I click on the link, I pre-populated this form to speed this video up. Perfect client, or I should say perfect support worker. Submitted, forgot to go run once there. We'll use existing data. Go through everything. Just show you we get another email. Thank you for the feedback. It's got my name right. And then if we go into the Airtable, we can now see we've got the responses here. So we just open up. I'll do it this way. Can't get to the little expandy thing. And they're the responses that it's picked up. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
So that's my solution for creating an appointment feedback automation for this week's challenge. This setup not only helps businesses gather valuable feedback from their clients, but also automates the entire process, making it efficient and error-free. If you want to see more content like this or have any questions about how I set up the automation, feel free to drop a comment below. And as always, if you found this video helpful, hit the like button
and subscribe for more automation tips and challenges. If you want to replicate this workflow or need help setting it up, I've included a link to the Make.com blueprints and any necessary files in the description below. I've also added my Calendly link for a free one-on-one session if you need any assistance. Thanks for watching and keep innovating.